Ending the policies that have helped China weather the global financial crisis would be counterproductive. That's according to Chinese Premier Wen Jiabao, who is attending a regional summit in Thailand. He said he was full of confidence regarding China's economy, but asked companies not to sit back simply because it had begun to recover. Earlier this week, China announced its annual GDP growth quickened to 8.9% in the third quarter, in line with market expectations. Economists say the government will easily beat its target of 8% annual growth for 2009. The government issued a $586 billion stimulus package to help China weather the financial storms. China's Vice Premier Li Keqiang has said his country wants to increase cooperation with the US and other nations to reach a deal at global climate talks in December. He was speaking in Beijing less than 2 months ahead of the Global Climate Conference in Copenhagen, Denmark. That meeting aims to reach an international agreement to cut greenhouse gas emissions worldwide. China and the US together account for 40% of greenhouse gases and are crucial to the success of any treaty. China is launching its long-awaited Nasdaq-style stock market in the southern city of Shenzhen. 28 small and medium-sized enterprises are expected to debut on the new exchange. Over 10 years of planning has gone into the Growth Enterprise Market, or GEM as it has been dubbed. It's designed to attract financing for new industries with the potential for high growth. GEM's focus on these new industries has drawn comparisons with New York's Nasdaq exchange. However, with less than 30 companies expected to list, it's a fraction of the size of the US exchange, which lists nearly 4,000 clients. China has been ranked 168th out of 175 countries in the 2009 Press Freedom Index. The report, released by the Paris-based NGO Reporters Without Borders, put Ireland and the 4 Scandinavian countries, Sweden, Denmark, Norway and Finland, in joint first place. At the bottom of the list were Turkmenistan, North Korea and Eritrea. The UK and US shared joint 20th place. Now, the annual rankings are based on answers to a survey of hundreds of journalists, media experts and academics around the world. However, the Chinese government has accused the organisation of being a tool used to attack China and says it receives funds from both the US and France. In this year's rankings, France placed 43rd. Now, in a new campaign to boost ethics and rein in corruption, the Chinese Communist Party officials have been told to avoid prostitutes and vulgar places of entertainment. State media reported that Li Yuanchao, head of the department that controls senior personnel appointments, warned officials they could receive black marks for visiting hostess bars. He said such places often led to corruption and abuse of power, as well as harming the image of the party. He also warned cadres to be aware of corrupt business dealings. Last month, party leaders put forward plans to force top cadres to declare homes, investments and their family members' jobs and incomes. However, they failed to agree on how to do that. Chinese police have arrested 42 alleged members of a trafficking ring that sold dozens of infants stolen or bought from rural parents. State media said the ring trafficked 52 children over 2 years, earning the equivalent of nearly $60,000 US. Suspicions were raised after police stopped a van in May containing 3 men and a baby boy. The child was being returned as his new parents were not satisfied. The report says China has a thriving black market in girls and women, often used as labourers or as brides for unwed sons. And the traditional preference for male heirs also drives the market in baby boys. Top US safety officials are meeting with their Chinese counterparts to discuss how complaints from American homeowners of illness and other damage from suspect drywall imported from China. The Consumer Product Safety Commission chairman said the two sides were still awaiting test results on what's causing the problems. US construction companies imported the drywall, also known as wallboard or gypsum board, at the height of the housing boom when building materials were in short supply. The drywall apparently causes a chemical reaction, releasing fumes that reek like rotten eggs and grows worse with heat and humidity. And that's the BON News headlines for now, but we'll be back with more news after this.